So we're gonna do driver's side. Driver's side first. Exhaust valve. Here we go. Get the tool set up. Bring in retainer. There we go. Get the tool keeper. Get the ratchet. And here you got to make sure you guide it so it goes, so the spring goes through the valve itself. Now this is why I say to do the first one on both sides on the exhaust, so you can get experience with the tool on how it really works. There you go, spring is fully compressed. Put the keepers on, carry our way. Here we go. She's good. I'll rotate the engine counterclockwise so we can put the valve in the spring versus the other way around. I myself like to put the valve in the spring So still keep everything compressed. Turn it a little bit at a time. Make sure that the spring goes down. Make sure that the valve goes down, I should say. There we go. Valve is in. I'm gonna put the rocker arm on. And this valve is done. There we go. Oh. This is it. One exhaust valve is down. Now release the pressure. That's one. And we got 31 more to go. Doing the second cylinder. We're adjusting the tool. Now because I cannot move the rocker arm at all and my valve is sticking out, I'm going to rotate the engine just a little counterclockwise because I know the rope is doing its job. So I can have enough where I can pull the rocker arm off. Right there, I just rotated it just a little bit. Now I'm just going to push the rocker arm to the side. Rotate the engine clockwise now. And pull the keepers off. Here are the keepers, both of them. Release the spring. Push it to the side. And this whole process is going to go over and over again, 32 times. Now right here, let me move this out of the way so you guys can see better. The old seals don't just come out simply. They don't just, where you grab them and you pull them out. They don't just really come out like that. You literally have to fight with them. So make sure you grab a good grip. And this is how this one works for me. Now whichever way angle you go, is I go in, I squeeze it, wiggle her up and down a little bit. There we go. Wow. Here's the old seal. And put it back in. Put a little oil or grease in here. Push it down. Put the spring back in with the washer. Obviously it's easy enough to do this with hand over here. Hook up the tool back. Here we go. And while you have the tool on top of the spring, I like to turn it by hand until I feel a little pressure on the spring. Here we go. You want to guide it to make sure that it's not going to push on the valve. That's not what you want to do. You want to go through the valve. I like to compress them. Let's see if you can see it. Yep, I like to compress them this much so that, or even as much as possible, realistically to say, so that when I put the keeper on, it doesn't interfere with my keeper tool. So here's a keeper tool. Line her up, readjust it. Just because I kind of feel like I can get a better angle. It looks good here. Let's see what happens. You push on it, and shoot come up. There we go. Push down, and I'm gonna wiggle the tool just a little bit on each side, nothing too crazy, and pull it right back out. Now the keepers are on, but not all the way for some reason right now. So what I'm gonna do is grab a screwdriver, just kind of push it a little. The bottom one, I'm gonna push it just a little higher, so then two, or did I just lose it? Oh yeah, screwdriver's magnetic. I screw that one up. And redo it. No biggie. Here we go. Keeper tool. Let's try it again. Here we go. Wiggle just a little bit. And voila, she's in. I'm going to rotate the engine counterclockwise just so I can push the valve into the spring, and also at the same time, so just a little bit, and with your finger, push down on the valve. And there she is, valve is down. Now at the same time here, just grab the rocker and put it on top of the valve. There we go. Release the spring. go, second valve is done. I'm gonna do the two on top intake. What I'll normally like to do is I like to get them all done on the exhaust first, and once I'm done with the exhaust, I like to do them on the intake. But I said I'm gonna make a video about each cylinder per day, so I'm gonna get these two and I'm gonna call it a day for today. Might. So let me set up the tool on the top here so we can get to the exhaust to the intake valves. So here we set ourselves up for the intake now, and we're just gonna go to town with the intake. So what I like to do now is basically I like to remove the rope because I'm done with the two exhausts. So the rope is out, and now what I like to do is I like to grab vice grips. So now that my cylinder is in top dead center, rope is out, I got my vice grips, so I'm just gonna grip this intake valve right here. And now that she's gripped, I'm gonna put my rocker, put her in. There we go. I'm just going to turn her up to put some pressure on it. Lever to control it. Now from the bottom here, I push the lever to the side, the rock arm. I'm too high in the grip. I'm going to go just a little higher. There we go. And now all I'm going to do is, with the screwdriver, I'm going to push the sucker to the side, or she'll fall off, which she did. Not a big deal at all. Here she is. I'm just going to leave it to the side. And now I'm going to pull on the vice grip so the valve comes back up. I'm going to release the keepers. There we go. Keepers are out. I'm going to release the tension of the spring. And pull out to the side just in case. I'll pull out with the valve. Look at this nasty. Here's the spring. Spring has got a lot of nasty carbon buildup, so I'm gonna wipe it off as well. Spring is out, that's out. Now we're gonna get the pliers and pull the valve out. You have to find yourself the best angle to grip on the valve. This one came pretty good. Wow. I normally dip my valves in the oil, but before I do that, just give it a little clean. Didn't do nothing, but I thought it would. So back to the action here. Put the valve in. There we go. Gotta clean the spring just a little bit because I don't like all that gunk on it. To each their own, right? That's a little cleaner. Spring washer is a little cleaner. There we go. Then we'll put them back in. Just as a little trick, what I like to do is I like to grab the spring and the washer together and put them in the flag. I'll get the flag to the valve and just let it go and she'll slide right in for the most part. There you go. I swear this works a lot better if I don't have to show you. It's weird how that works. But here we go. She's in. Now we'll reinstall the tool. Now this is the hardest part here, really. What you want to do is you want to keep pressure, and at the same time, gotta learn how to guide the valve. Just for the fact that it's just, and this one is not as bad, but the further you go in, the intakes are gonna be a lot of nightmare. And the pressure, and now I need my lever. This lever will help me guide to be in the center. Now my eyes are right on the valve, and I'm making sure that I'm going straight through the center with the washer, so I don't push, so I don't compress the the valve while I'm going down. Not what I want to do. Now with this, you pull it up a little bit and you'll be able to see the valve perfect. Put the keepers on your tool. Before you go ahead and put the keepers on your tool, what I suggest you to do is with no keepers, figure out a way on which angle you're going to go in. Practice. So, what I also like to do is I like to push down on my valve with my vice grips because I'm hanging onto it. I'll pull it down a little bit. I'll set the tool right on top of it, and then I push the valve up. So, it does the job a lot easier. It just works for me. You guys have an option to do it however you guys want. You can go the other way around if you want. That's up to you. It's just what works for me. And again, for anybody that doesn't know why I got my intake out, it's because I'm doing the coolant pipe on it. But even if I didn't do the coolant pipe, I would still remove the intake out. Just for the simple fact that it's a lot easier. I'd rather do it this way than with the intake on. It's all about creating room, as most of you guys know. So I got the keeper on it. I'm pulling the valve up. And now I'm letting it go, wiggle a little bit. I'll let it go and see what happens. It should be on it. Perfect. She went on it with no problem. I'm going to grab the lever. Just going to wipe off a little bit. Normally I wouldn't wipe them off, but for as much as this car was neglected, it's got carbon all over. So I personally don't like that. So putting the rocker back in. That's that. Yeah, just I got the magnet so it's easier for me to pull it up. So I can put it on top of the valve. There we go. All I'm doing with my magnet is I'm setting her up on top of the valve. And this one is done. Driver's side, first intake. Now guys, you guys have to really understand this part. It's not that I don't want to record, or the recording is not the greatest, or that you can't see the whole information. The problem with this is there's really no way, no right way, an angle to record it and to show you guys the real deal. I'm trying to do it as much as I can, but realistically to say is, if I put the camera in there, I won't be able to see what I'm doing. And if I put the camera somewhere else, hopefully you guys see what I'm doing. But it's not a 100% thing, because it's just a nightmare. Truth be told, it's just a nightmare to record it, because you don't know which angle you'll be able to achieve, I should say, without interfering with yourself. But if I interfere with myself, obviously I won't be able to do the job right. If I interfere with you, it's one of those things I'm hoping you guys understand the concept of it. So literally it starts out easy, and the higher you go, the harder it really becomes, because for the fact that it's just a pain in the neck, a pain in the ass. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. A pain in the ass to do this whole thing and recording it. So anybody out there, I apologize. I'm trying my best, and I hope you guys get the information that you need. So now we're doing on cylinder 1, the second intake. I readjusted my vice grip. I'm grabbing the second intake. You put the lever on, you go down like this, and you readjust it. So once you go in there, I'll put this light in because there's nothing you guys can really see. Even if you were next to me and I let you look at it, you won't be able to see it because you'd be in my way. And vice versa. Even if you're doing it, if somebody else, if you're trying to show it somebody, it's not really as 1, 2, 3 to let somebody see this unless they're from the other side. Even then, when they're trying to look in, they'll be in your way. So what I'm trying to say is there's no right possible way to record the whole idea of this to show you guys at the same time on what I'm doing or how to do it. If you do the first one, you'll understand how to do the rest one because they're all the same until the end. The end is just gonna get harder because you can't see. So I'm trying my best, but my best might be not good enough, and that's what I don't like right now because I'm not. Well, it's compressed. Readjust this. Guys, it really is not a big deal if you drop an intake valve. Do not drop the exhaust. The exhaust is going to be your nightmare if you drop it. Believe me. Do not. I can't stress this enough. Do not drop the intake, the exhaust. Intake is not a big deal. Intake you can always retrieve it because you have plenty of room. And if you want to know how to retrieve an intake valve, look up my other video. I got a video to show you guys how to retrieve the valve from the intake. But from the exhaust, I'm not going to make a video and I hope I never have to. So keepers are off. Let's let the pressure of the spring here. Here we go. Guys, another thing that I forgot to mention, which in my opinion is very critical, is grab yourself a rag and try to cover this spot at all times. The reason why I say that is because you do not want to drop anything down the timing chain. Glad I thought of that to say it. I'm glad I thought of it to cover it myself as well. But you do not want to drop something down here because it's going to be your nightmare. So here's the washer. Here's the spring. Let's pull the valve out. And here's the valve. I will repeat the process backwards. New valve, dipped in oil. You can do however you want. You want to go ahead and put the lithium grease in, it's up to you. I myself just dip them in oil. There's no right or wrong way in my opinion. Just gonna brush off the spring just to clear a little carbon off. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. And the carbon is built up probably because of the genius that knows this car. A, didn't give a damn about this car. B, he never knew how to get an oil change. So, I guess we all know a genius or two, right? Sadly, I didn't know him. But it is what it is. Whoever did the work for him, I'm sure he didn't do it himself. So, again, I like to put the spring and the washer on my flag, and I like to get the flag literally on top of the valve and let it down, and it'll guide itself in. For the most part, it works. Again, most part. Not 100%, but most part. Here's that. Here's that. Now that's done. Guys, it's hard enough to see it while you're doing this job, yet alone to be able to record at the same time. Not at the same time. There's no room, realistically, there's no room to put the camera down somewhere for you to be able to record it. That's how much space you don't really have. What I like to do is, first thing first, I like to put a little pressure on the spring by hand and tighten this until I feel a little tension before I grab the ratchet and start ratcheting. Kind of preload the spring, so to say. Here we go. Get the lever, the ratchet. Watch what you're doing and start ratcheting. Make sure with the amount of space we have here, guide the center of the washer into the spring. You don't want to put pressure on the valve itself. So right here, whenever you're ready right now, I'm just going to leave it like this, but whenever I'm ready, I'm gonna grab the lever arm like this, turn around, and whenever I get the keeper tool now, before I do it, I'm going to push this whole block that way so it's more of a center. So my keeper tool doesn't put only one of the springs in. One of the keepers in. You want to get both keepers on. Got the keepers on. There we go. I'm going to pull the valve up a little bit. And now, before I do anything, I'm going to try to readjust this. Keepers are on. I'm going to push the valve down so my keepers don't jump out of there. And I'm going to put the rocker arm back on. There we go. And I'm going to release the tension on the spring. And this is your first cylinder on the driver's side on the N62 2006 750i. There was neglected, and yeah, what more can you say other than neglected? There's nothing really to say more than that. But it was in really bad condition. Either way, we have a lot of work to do with this car, but it's awesome for the channel. So right now, we just did the first cylinder. And anybody out there that needs to rent these tools, and wants to do this job themselves, I hope this video did help you, or will help you get the concept of an idea. You really cannot record everything the way you want. Here's the vice grips, and basically this is where you grip. You can see the valves right there. You just grip the valves, and basically once you grip the valve, you go up or down with the valve to help you get easier keepers on and all that 9 yards. I myself prefer it that way. A lot quicker, a lot easier, less stressful. So that's just me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the channel. My name is Tony, and thank you for watching. Guys, after each cylinder you guys finish, I cannot stress this enough. Make sure that this spring right here is seated in the lever arm. 100%. Even throughout the job, before you close the valve covers, inspect every single one of them to make sure that that spring is seated in the groove of every single one of them. If you don't, if that spring is not seated in the groove, because this is the easiest one to show you. If that spring is not seated in that groove, you will have a lot of misfires. And worse, if this lever arm falls off, it could be a catastrophic disaster for you. So make sure, because these will randomly come off as you're doing this job. So therefore, I suggest you to 100% make sure that the spring is in there. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys subscribe and like to the channel so we can continue making these videos.